this video, we're talking about important exterior detailing tips and car washing tips for the winter time so that you don't neglect your car because it's cold outside. So without wasting any time, I want to show you guys exactly what I do. First of all, I start with the door jambs. I don't ever dip my hands in any water, so I don't have a soapy bucket solution. I have a spray bottle, 5-to-1 degreaser, and a detail brush and my hose. That way, I'm never touching water and cooling my hands down, basically. Secondly, I do the exact same thing with tires and wheels. I'm never putting my hands in water or a soapy bucket solution to clean them. It's spray bottles alone and brushes. This is Meguiar's Wheel Brightener 5-to-1, my pressure washer, and some simple detailing brushes for wheels. I do the same thing with the tire. I use full strength degreaser on the tire and the wheel well. I let it sit and then I spray it off with a pressure washer. I'm done. Never touching any water with my hands because it's like below freezing out here. Then I'm going to use my Turtle Wax Ice Snow Foam and some super clean degreaser because I am actually prepping this car for a type of ceramic coating as well. Shake that up, and this is important. As I wash this car, I have a steaming hot bucket of water with my grit guard beneath. Now, the way I'm going to do this is, in order to apply the soap to the paint, all I'm doing is using my foam cannon, okay? Then, when I actually go to wash it, I'm dipping my hand in the warm water solution with the sponge to rinse out that which I've already washed. So you guys can see there's tons of suds and it is freezing outside. So this is again probably about 5 ounces of degreaser mixed with about 3 ounces of the Turtle Wax Snow Foam and a bunch of water, of course. But you guys can see anytime I want to dip my hands in water, I want it to be warm, because if your hands or feet get cold, you're going to stop detailing in the winter because you're not going to be able to handle it. But as you can see, not only have I applied all this clean soap solution to the paint through the foam cannon, but I'm doing a sort of 2-bucket method here, because when it's time to rinse my dirty mitt off from doing these panels, you can see I dip it in my warm water bucket, I rub it against the grit guard, and then I rinse it out. So anytime I'm dipping my hand in water, again, it's hot water, so my hands never get too cold. But again, this soap and degreaser kind of solution, and the particular Turtle Wax soap that I'm using, foams up really, really well, and I like doing that in the wintertime because you're dealing again with road salt and motor oil and all this sort of stuff. So I think this is kind of a better version of the 2-bucket method, because you're kind of accomplishing the same thing. It's the same logic, but you don't have to go from bucket to bucket. And this is a pretty small car, but with any car, you know, the water stays warm pretty much the whole time with my bucket. Then I take some APC, I spray it on the front grille and these areas that are hard to get, even here in the windshield wipers, and I take a simple detailing brush and I agitate those areas, and then I simply take my pressure washer and I pressure wash those areas clean, and that way I'm again still not touching water. I'm putting my tools to work. Now, because I'm prepping this car, and yes, this is important to do in the wintertime as well, I'm using a clay bar, but it's important to understand, and you guys will be able to see this as I go around, the clay bar gets freezing cold and it kind of stops working to a level if you don't dip it back into warm water. So I'm using an Optimum No Rinse solution for the clay lubricant, and I actually left the car wet, so it's even a little bit more lubricant, but I dip the clay bar in warm water in order to keep it kind of malleable. Then I take my Optimum Fair-X, the iron remover that Optimum puts out, and I just spray it all over the paint and I let it sit. Now, this is a great way to decontaminate the car in the wintertime because, again, you're not touching water. With the Optimum No Rinse and the clay bar, you're kind of touching water a little bit. But you guys can see as I kind of agitate it with my pressure washer, I actually don't want to rinse the iron remover off immediately. I want to kind of stir it up with my pressure washer and activate it a little bit and spread it around the paint a bit. You can kind of accomplish the same thing with a microfiber towel. Now, the reason I use just a regular hose spray nozzle to wash it off is because it tends to be a bit easier to do it that way, to flood the paint, than with a pressure washer. It's just a bit quicker. Then I dry with my twisted loop drying towel. I blow dry the areas that I have to blow dry to make it quick and easy before, because I don't want any sort of what would I say, dripping area when you're using a ceramic coating. You want everything to be dry. And then here, I'm just taking you guys around so that you can see the finished work. Now, of course, at a time like this, you would seal it in with some sort of maybe spray ceramic, maybe hybrid ceramic wax, maybe a spray sealant, maybe a paste wax, whatever you like. But I'm just kind of going around showing you the finished washed results because I'm going to seal it in later with a ceramic coating. But this is how I maintain vehicles in the wintertime when it's cold outside. This way, I never touch water. My hands never get cold, and anytime I do touch water, it actually warms my hands up. And these are the kind of results you get with barely touching anything, which is my goal here. Alright guys, there you have it. That's kind of my breakdown of how I wash and prep cars outside in freezing cold temperatures, and it actually works very, very well, even though it's so simple. So if you're curious about any of the products or the tools that I used in this video, from the soap to even the leaf blower, I'm going to hook up Amazon links to all of that stuff in the YouTube description box below, so check that out to see a full list of my tools and products that I use for a job like this. If you love everything auto detailing like I do, then hit the red subscribe button below. And as always, from Luke here at Wilson Auto Detailing, keep working hard, and I'll see you guys in the next video.